In Atlanta, we just do things a little different. We get extremely involved. We are passionate. We do build bridges and work with different communities.
If you grew up in Atlanta and you're halfway civically engaged or involved, you're going to have conversations around issues of civil rights, issues of not just local, but certainly regional and national and even international significance.
Being the home of Reverend Abernathy, being the home of Dr. King and the legacies and the Hosea Williams, the Andy Youngs, the Maynard Jacksons, the list goes on. And we've had examples of people here in Atlanta to follow.
In order to really impact lasting change, you can't do it by yourself.
When we talk about why, as African Americans, many of us are involved in AIPAC, the success of the civil rights movement wasn't only African Americans standing up and saying civil rights are important. When you tell the story, you really have to talk about the relationship between the African American community and the Jewish community and the strong support that came from the Jewish community.
My mother and my aunt were very active in the civil rights community. So I grew up hearing stories about how taking an active role could help change the injustice around us.
Some 26 odd years ago, I was a soldier in the U.S. Army, and in basic training, we were told that we would defend Israel at all costs. Fast forward 20 some odd years later, I get to go on a trip.
In 2012, I was invited to Israel with AIEF.
The American Israel Education Foundation, I thank God for them.
The parts of the country that we were able to see not only put a lot of things in context, but it also challenged some of the notions that we may have had about the Israeli community and the Palestinian community.
Families that I spoke with that talked about their fear of sending their children to school some days, not knowing if they would come back safe. I just couldn't shake the thought of what will I do to make an impact.
I felt totally immersed there in the culture and there in Israel. When you hear the phrase, I am Israel, that hits home with me because I felt that when I was there. After that, all I could say is I have to be a part of this, and I've sought ways to do it ever since. I committed right away to spend time and money in support of the relationship with AIPAC. I joined the Washington Club initially, and I guess that wasn't enough for me, and so I needed some more, and then I joined the Capitol Club. Then I was told about this wonderful group called the Congressional Club. We can express our support for the relationship between America and Israel. That's very important.
Because of our shared interest in a safe and secure Israel, because of our commitment to improving U.S.-Israel relationships, I literally can see the impact of the work that we do.
When two groups were very different, have very different issues, come together around one issue that they agree upon, that sends a message. And that's been the power of what I see as this connection between the African American community and the Jewish community.
Those of us who are currently involved, we know that we need to continue to grow. We know that we need to continue to advocate on behalf of the relationship. We know what it means, not just to that region, not just to America, but to the entire world.
Ladies and gentlemen, Caesar Mitchell, Rashida Winfrey, and Rufus Montgomery.